Hi, we are Research Group 3, and today we are going to be presenting to you our research report for Second Wind Coffee House. So today we'll be talking about the purpose of our research, in-depth interviews, social media audit, survey findings, and lastly, our discussion and suggestions for Second Wind. So here is our awesome team. First, we have Katelynn, Holland, Melissa Easley, Michael Walker, Nathan Proctor, and me, Samantha Lowry. So to start off our presentation, we're going to be talking about the purpose of our research. So the purpose of our research is to gather extensive data for our client, Second Wind, develop a public relations plan to rebrand Second Wind's social media and online presence, connect with target audiences, and lastly, to build a strong donor base for Second Wind. At the beginning of the semester, we met with our client and together we developed 4 main goals which our research aims to achieve. Our first one is to explore a new donor base. Number 2 is to strengthen our organization's mission. Number 3 is to strengthen existing and future donor communication and relationship. And number 4 is to strengthen social media and online presence overall. So the 4 types of data collection methods we used in this project was secondary research, in-depth interviews, social media audit, and surveys to gather the research for this project.
All right, my name is Katelynn Holland. I'm going to be sharing with you how we did our in-depth interviews. To gain a better understanding of Second Wind's target audience, we executed a series of in-depth interviews that ranged from 15 to 35 minutes. Each member of our group interviewed a student at the University of Oklahoma who is known as somebody who typically drank coffee at least a couple times a week. Before interviewing our interviewees, we created an in-depth interview guide with a few icebreaker questions and over 20 open response questions. We asked a variety of questions about coffee drinking habits, their spending habits, if they were frequent donators to volunteer efforts, organizations, or charities. We also inquired about study habits and social habits. Our questions helped us to gain a better understanding of Second Wind's target audience and their awareness at the coffee shop. As for our findings, we found that our interviewees were not very familiar with Second Wind. 3 out of our 5 interviews stated that they'd never heard of Second Wind, and 2 said they were familiar with the shop, but they'd never actually visited. Our interview participants also utilize social media as a main source of information. They're very active on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter daily, and they use that as a way to connect with and learn about small businesses in the Norman community. Our participants also prefer Starbucks for its convenience. We asked our participants if they were to go get coffee somewhere, where would they go? And most of them said they would go to Starbucks just because it's convenient and reliable and it fits with their very busy school and work schedules. They also said that organization transparency would really make them want to donate to an organization. If a nonprofit organization is transparent about where the donation is going, what their money is being used for, they're going to be more inclined to donate. Our interviews were also not deterred by Second Wind's relationship with the First Presbyterian Church. Being connected with a church was not something that would discourage interviewees from donating or getting coffee from them, but they would prefer Second Wind to be extremely transparent about where their money is going and ensuring that their money isn't just going right back to the church. Participants also like the idea of donating to a nonprofit. University of Oklahoma students feel really good when they donate their time or their money to an organization or charity that they feel passionately about, and it just makes them feel really good. So that is something I think that should be highlighted.
Hello, my name is Nate Proctor, and I will be talking to you guys about our social media audit. So to evaluate Second Wind's social media presence and content, we analyzed all of their social media channels compared to a primary and secondary competitor. For our primary competitor, we chose Haystack Coffee, just because in terms of proximity to campus, they are on par with Second Wind. and they're also connected with the BCM, which is a church. For our secondary competitor, we chose Folgers, which is an at-home coffee brand. So Folgers kind of encompasses the population that doesn't go out to go get coffee, they'll just make it at home. So for the audit, we analyzed key messages, the frequency of content, engagement with that content, and then the website design for both Second Wind and its competitors. So we had 2 research questions that guided our audit. The first one being, does posting frequently increase the public's awareness of your brand? And then the second one, can an organization use social media as an advertisement to appeal to its audiences? So our findings from the audit were that personalization is key when it comes to engaging social media audiences and website users. You really want your publics to feel involved, and the publics want to feel like you reached out to them personally. So a common strategy we found among Second Wind's competitors were customized experiences that placed an emphasis on community. So with the BCM, it's the Baptist community and students who go to church, and with Folgers, it's a community that's been catered by an email newsletter, for example, that's on their website. And so this strategy just gives the customer an opportunity to feel connected with the brand, while also feeling like they have a chance to engage and participate in a community that just makes them feel special. So some of our recommendations for Second Wind are to introduce a social commerce section to their website, and then to begin a micro-influencer program with students on campus. So by adding social commerce, they're diversifying their donation channels and reaching different publics. So for example, a student who's graduated from the university but loved going to Second Wind and is on to a successful job can still have the opportunity to donate to a coffee shop and donate to Second Wind. And then creating a micro influencer program could also help reach different publics within the community and help personalize its brand identity and make it synonymous with the OU community.
Hi, my name is Melissa Easley, and I'm going to be presenting our survey findings. So we surveyed 389 people in the Norman community, which 60% of them were University of Oklahoma students and 39% of them were Norman residents. We used this survey as an opportunity to answer questions on the broader scale that were missing or inconclusive during our in-depth interview research. We gathered questions that help build an image of the awareness, perception, behaviors of the public for Second Wind. After our interview, we still needed to know things like how would we primarily reach our key public, and what is the awareness of Second Wind? How active are they on social media sites, and which sites do they use the most often? Common donation habits, more about their key public demographic, what would deter them from donating to Second Wind, and what is the most important to them in a nonprofit? The majority of our survey respondents were white women who were college students. 97% of them attended the University of Oklahoma. The average age of participants was 26 years old, and many respondents had lived in the Norman area for 1 to 5 years. These figures showcase the low awareness of the public to who Second Wind is. We asked multiple questions about location, donation system, and mission, and the awareness of all three, and it was just very low across the board. This figure showcases common social media habits of the key public. The top 3 highest social medias are Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. The 3 lowest in terms of usage are also LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. This figure showcases the communication preferences and respondents to nonprofits. Second Wind should avoid mailing and calling potential donors and instead focus on social media engagement and in-person events. We recommend using Instagram and TikTok as their top highest social media for engagement. This figure showcases the perceptions of potential customers towards local nonprofits. Over 60% of people agree that it is important to know what their donations are funding. 54% of respondents stated that nonprofits are important parts of the community, and 31% said they enjoyed donating locally. We found a direct correlation between time people have lived in Norman, education level, and the likelihood of donating. Even though the key public is University of Oklahoma students, their goal for Second Wind is to raise donations. Even though only 22% of respondents had lived in Norman more than 10 years, they were the most likely demographic to donate.
Hi, my name is Marco, and I'll be discussing the suggestions we have for Second Wind. Based on the data collected from the survey, in-depth interviews, and social media audit, we suggest that Second Wind heavily increase their overall online presence. Most people in the Norman community use social media frequently, and building your brand image online opens many different publics you can access. This can create a more personalized and transparent relationship with the target audience. Coming from the social media audit, another suggestion would be to begin a micro-influencer collaboration. I know that Second Wind often collaborates with Greek Life and the Sorority Row. And so we think that utilizing a influencer program would allow Second Wind to increase their donations while also building a community in Norman. In the survey findings, it's clear that people in the Norman community would like to donate, but they don't necessarily know where they can go to donate. So by increasing public knowledge of Second Wind, you're able to see an increase in donations, and you can do that by creating a heavier social media presence. When they personalize their social media, it allows brand loyalty to improve and customer experiences to improve as well. This will introduce publics with a tailored experience that is specific to them.
That concludes our research project. I hope you enjoyed watching this and learned some valuable information based on our collection methods. Thank you for watching.